from Sweden, where I was reading this article about this this Swedish girl who was being harassed and then ended up being raped by these two African children in her class. They weren't yet adults, but her father knew that it was happening because she was complaining to him. He goes and complains to the school, and the teacher, who's a woman, puts his name down for maybe possibly being somebody who's racist.
Two things. One, as we know, feminism really isn't like pro-woman. It's just anti-white male. Yeah. It's not even anti-male. It's just anti-white male because no one batted an eye at Rotherham. But the other thing is that I think is worth noting is it seems like the women in modern Western societies are more authoritarian than the men are. It's actually women are going to be more. Yeah, the women are going to go, oh, what are the rules? I'm sorry, you can't do that. And there's this. I remember when I was in school, a lot of women were very PC, but also very Christian, and that's kind of gone away. Like the alliance in the '90s of like anti-porn feminists and anti-porn Christian fundamentalists. Like there's like a double-headed like schoolmarmy beast that the Christian head has basically been slain, but the leftist head, it remains. And in a lot of individuals, you'll have these women who, they're not necessarily like this archetypal left-wing ideologue, but just if it says so in the rule book, I'm sorry, but I can't make an exception for you, or I just think you seem a little racist. Like you can hear that nagging voice in your head.
I would be willing to bet that this Swedish school teacher was an ideological leftist, though.
Yeah.
I would be
in Sweden,
more than
we can assume that. Yeah. But I just think it's funny that when like libertarians talk about the authoritarianism, this is a point Tyler was making, is there's like this authoritarianism in like American culture now, and then they blame that on cops. When you look at a cop, a lot of cops are just kind of regular white dudes who are like, you can do what you want in private, but don't disturb the public order. It's these women in schools, these teachers and these administrators. Yeah. They're the ones who are pushing these weird rules.
Yeah, I even when I was a libertarian, I would comment on the really totalitarian nature of communitarian, authoritarian women, particularly those that don't have their own families.
Yeah,
they become absolute fucking tyrants. I think this is something that's been observed. I mean, there are characters like this in literature, etc. But I mean, the public school system, which is basically like the employer of all of these cat ladies. I mean, these are cat ladies.
Yeah.
Give cat ladies power, and they will crush anybody under their thumb that they can. And they will gladly do it, and they will think they're doing the right thing. And I'm sure that's what this is the sweetest thing. And it's like, the interesting thing to me is how the care harm gets completely thrown out for a teenage white girl. Like, where's the sympathy of this teacher for her? Like, her sympathy has been completely taken away from her
Shouldn't
own
she
kind
have solidarity with a fellow woman?
And redirected to these, like, foreign children, because that's who she's supposed to care for. She doesn't care about, a 13-year-old Swedish girl. She cares about, this Swedish father thinks that these African boys are bothering. He must be racist. That's why he doesn't want them bothering his daughter.
No, that's a perfect point, because someone was saying, I can't remember who this was, but someone recently was saying, the way that a racist is looked at is kind of like a deadbeat dad who won't take care of the kids. It's like all these non-whites are like literally infantilized. Like, oh, they're sweet little children. Why don't you want to help them? Why are you rejecting their needs? It's like they occupy the child role now.
Yeah, and I mean, I can sort of burst that idea that women have solidarity with each other. We really don't. There is nothing more a woman will hate than other women. There is no solidarity among women. There's all the friendships women have are extremely fragile. It's not. There is no. So I'm not surprised that in this particular case, the headmistress is taking the side of especially because they are in the hierarchy of victimhood. They are pretty much at the top. So just follows that.
Yeah, and certainly a native Swedish girl doesn't even fall onto that hierarchy, except maybe she's ahead of a man.
Well, yeah, obviously, like if she was being sort of molested by a white guy,
then they would have sprung into action.
Yeah.